What's going on, everybody? It's Wildstyle83 coming at you. So I got a lot on my mind, so I'm going to share a little bit with you guys. Just recently put my grandmother in the hospital for a while, tried to deal with some breathing problems she's been having. I have a friend of mine who admittedly isn't as good of a friend as I wish they were, but that's my fault. That's a story for another day. And then, of course, those of you who follow me or those of you that know me know I'm dealing with physical therapy and rehabbing my knee still from surgery a few weeks ago. But it's made me start thinking about life, you know. Not that I don't always think about life, because let's face it, we all do. But it got me thinking about, you know, who we are and where we're at in our lives and how we get to where we're at and where we want to go. And, you know, I started thinking, you know, we're all victims of, I don't say victims, we're all, you know, bound by choices. Whether that be good or bad choices. Whatever choices you make, they have, you know, consequences, or, you know, if you make, you know, or outcomes rather. You make good choices, they're going to have good outcomes 9 times out of 10. You make bad choices, you're going to have bad consequences and bad outcomes, negative. But that's the beauty of life, is that with positive there's negative, and with negative there's positive. There's always light in the darkness. Sometimes you just have to look harder to find it. You know, when those periods of darkness come, it's hard to keep going sometimes. It's hard to believe in yourself. It's hard to think you have any strength left. It's hard to believe in yourself. And, you know I've been guilty of this, and I'm sure some of you out there have too, where you get to that point where you have no faith in yourself at all left anymore. You don't believe in yourself. You think you have no strength left, and you just can't go on. And sometimes you just need that person to tell you they do. And let me tell you this right now. Whether I know you or not, whether we ever talk, whether we meet, I believe in you. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. We all have strength inside of us, and sometimes it's just hard to find. But, you know, as I'm sitting there watching my grandmother today take a breathing treatment, and she's 70, and she's still trying to tell jokes and laugh and all that stuff while she's faced this. And uncertainty, we have no idea, you know, how long it's going to go and what's going to happen. But, you know, she's still positive. And it got me thinking, you know, life comes at us fast. It slaps us across the face, and we think, man, you know, I can't do it. But yet, we see people all around us who do. You know, I've been one of those people who was down to the bottom, and I didn't believe in myself, and I let the bad choices I made dictate who I was and not who I became. And see, that's the problem, is you're going to make bad decisions. You're not always going to make the right choice, and that's just part of life. You know, and when we make those bad decisions, we have to live with that. But the trick is, you can't let it dictate who you are and who you become and what you stand for. See, I did that for a long time. I kept making bad decisions, and each decision I made, the consequences led me to another bad decision. And it's on me, nobody else. But I let them dictate who I was and who I became and what I stood for. In fact, I was at the point where, to be honest with you, I don't think I stood for anything. And it's an old saying, an old country song, obviously. You know, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You know, I fell hard for you know, like anyone who's watched my videos knows, I fell for addictions and stuff like that. And, you know, my problems pushed away people that I cared about. It pushed away people that I loved. You know, I've lost friends and I've lost people that I loved over things. And, you know, I don't regret things. I wish I could have done things differently. But we all do that. We've all been to that point, you know, where we wish we could go back and change things. But the beauty of life is it always seems to give us other chances to make the right decision. You know, things come around full circle, and sometimes we're put in a situation that once before we would have given up, and we're given that opportunity again to prove to ourselves that we can do it. And, you know, with this surgery on my knee and stuff, you know, and everything that's been going on, even before that, though, really, I was put in a place where it would have been easy to give up. It would have been easy to say, I can't do it. I'm just not strong enough. I don't have any faith. I don't believe in myself. But I'd done that for so long, and I had seen where that got me. And, you know, it's hard to do sometimes, but, you know, when you look back on things, it's a lot easier to make the better decision the second time around. And sometimes it takes you second, third, fourth, fifth time to make that decision. But I'm telling you, life gives you those chances. Don't waste them. Sometimes we just have to go through hell, you know, to face demons that we didn't even think we had. And sometimes you have to go through complete and utter darkness to see the light. You know, if you're standing in a dark room, think of it this way. You know, you're standing in a dark room and there's one little tiny speck of light. You're going to see it 9 times out of 10 anyway, eventually. And that's the way life is. You know, you may be in a period where you're in complete darkness. But the beauty of that is that with that darkness, there's light somewhere. And I pray that you find it. It took me a while to find it. You know, I had to face demons. I had to face myself. And that's probably the hardest thing some of us are ever going to have to do is face ourselves. I think it's the hardest thing anybody ever has to do. When you really want to find out who you are and what you're made of, you take a long look at yourself, a deep down look inside yourself, and you find out who you really are and what you're really capable of. And if you don't like it, it's up to you. It's on you to change it, man. Nobody else can do it but you. And when you do change it, you got to do it for yourself. You know, if you don't like who you are, you're the only one stopping you from being who you want to be. You can be anything in this world you want to be. You can be whoever you want to be, whatever you want to be. It's on you. The choices are up to you. And nobody can make them for you. You've got to make them for yourself. And that's the hard thing to accept sometimes, is that it's on you. You know, you want to blame everybody else, and I've been the worst at that. You know, I wanted to blame everybody for my situations, when in reality, I got to where I was because of what I was doing, because of, you know, the choices I was making. And I realized one day it had cost me so much that I didn't want to be that person anymore. And, you know, when you get to that point, you have two options: keep doing the same thing or change. And I chose to change. And since that moment, when I looked inside myself, you know, I told my friend a while back about the story. I took a shower, and when I got out of the shower, I stared in the mirror for probably a good 15 minutes, just staring at myself and in my eyes, looking deep into my eyes. I was trying to woo myself, just kidding. But yeah, I was looking deep into my eyes to see myself, and you know what looked back at me I didn't like. I didn't like the person that was in the mirror anymore. And at that moment, I thought, I've got to change things. I got to make better decisions. And since then, you know, life's been a lot better. I mean, it's you know, not always going to be hard. It's not always going to be easy. I'm going to have to struggle. We all do. But the beauty of life is that, you know, if you work hard, eventually it all pays off. You know, it may not pay off right around the corner. It may take some time for you to see the results. But if you believe and you work hard and you trust and you do the best you can, the results will be there in the end. You know, the positive will always outweigh the negative if you really truly believe it and you try for it. For some of you out there right now, I know you don't believe that, and that's okay. I didn't believe it for the longest time either. I know you out there have strength inside of you. I didn't think I had strength inside of me, and it took me losing, I don't want to say everything, but most things in my life to realize that when I'm all alone, when nothing left around me and no one that I thought cared, I could be okay. And that's a hard thing to learn. You know, sometimes you got to be okay by yourself before you can be okay with other people. And that's all right. And there's nothing wrong with being alone sometimes. Sometimes, man, that's the best thing to do for you, is to be alone. You learn a lot about yourself and who you are and what you're about. And that's what I've done. You know, I withdrew from most people I know for quite some time. And, you know, I may not be around people a lot for a while. But I started to learn more about myself than I ever did with a big group of friends. I started to learn more about who I really was by myself, because when you're by yourself, there's nobody else to tell you who you are or what you're like, because you have to find out for yourself. And you may not always like what you see. And that's okay. That's life. But like I said, the beauty of that is you can change. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You have the strength inside of you. I believe in you. I have faith in you. If nobody else ever tells you that, know somebody else has told you that here on this video in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. Somebody had faith in you. Somebody believes in you. I may not know you, but I still believe in you. And with that being said, man, I just want to say one more thing, is that you just got to keep moving forward. You can't look back. You can't live in the past. Live in the here and now. And I'm paraphrasing and probably stealing this from somebody, but the best thing to do is just try to be a better person today than you were yesterday. You know, if you wake up tomorrow, count your blessings and thankful that you're awake, because some people may not. If you go to sleep tonight, be thankful that you had this day, because some people didn't get to make it through. You have friends, be thankful for them. You've got a loved one, be thankful for them. You got family, love them. So not everybody's as lucky as that. So with that being said, guys, just keep doing what you can. Keep pushing. Keep trudging through life. It may have you down, but it's not always going to beat you down. You may be at the valley, but that just means eventually you're going to be at the peak again. So we'll sign off here. It's getting kind of late. All that being said, keep doing the best you can. Keep moving forward. Peace. Much love. I'm out.